Hi everyone, my name is Gideon Besaidnout and I'm an application engineer for Micrographics. Today we're going to have a look at the fundamentals of sheet metal within Autodesk Fusion and just have a quick overview of how we can utilize the sheet metal environment within Autodesk Fusion. Now in Fusion, you do have the capability to create your bends, your flat patterns, look at all your different types of rules and how you can manage and or create your different rule settings within Fusion. Now you'll notice I've got Fusion open and I am currently on the solid tab. You can go and move to the sheet metal tab, and from here is where you'll start utilizing the sheet metal environment within Fusion. Now it's very important to understand how the sheet metal rules work within Fusion and how you can utilize it and make changes as needed or required. Now in the modify tab panel, you'll see there's the sheet metal rules, and if you click on it, it would open up the sheet metal rules. From here you can see the sheet metal library. There you can create a new rule. So if I go to new rule, you can actually go and give it a specific name as needed or required. Just going to move that icon out. So for instance, here you can go and choose or create one. Let's say it's stainless steel 3mm. I'm just adding some context to it so that I understand, okay, this is the 3mm stainless steel. From here you can go and choose your thickness. It is going to be 3mm, your K factor, and then your miter rib seam gap, and you can go and change your thickness as needed or required. From here, when you open up the bend conditions, you can see the bend radius. The bend radius in this case would be equal to the thickness. So in this case, the thickness is 3mm, so your bend radius would be 3mm. Your relief shape, you can go and choose, would you like a straight, a tear, or a round. Here you've got your relief width, your relief depth, where you can go and make modifications as needed. Very important, it's your corner conditions, your two bend intersections. Would you like it to trim it to the bend, create a round or a square? I'm going to leave all this as is, but you can make your modifications to this, and I'm going to simply say save. And now you'll notice there you get your new rule that you have created. You can go and click on the edit to make your modifications. Now you'll notice there's a small library for the sheet metal rules. You can go into them and make modifications, but it's always better and advisable to just create your own rules as needed. Now in this instance, I'm going to close it. So now you'll notice there in the modify tab, you also do get your unfold and your rip, a little bit of the modifications tools that is available within the sheet metal environment. Now I'm going to go and create a face. Just going to create a 2D sketch. Going to go and create a center rectangle. Going to say that's 150 by 150 as an example. Just going to click on the flange, select the profile, and now from here you'll notice that it's going to create you the face for you. Here you've got your orientation where you can choose side 1 or side 2 in opposite directions, or symmetrical in the center. and then you've got your sheet metal rule. I'm going to select the new rule that I've just created, the stainless steel, and then I'm going to say OK. From here I'm just going to move into a different orientation and just show you that the rule has been applied. And to do that, I'm just going to use the measure tool, click on that line, and you'll see the 3mm thickness has been applied. So it is quite handy, and the functionality within Fusion when it comes to sheet metal, it is quite fantastic. Here you've got your flange, so you can go and create a flange as needed or required. Now that would be dependent on what you want to achieve. Now from here you can specify your height, you can specify an angle if needed or required. You also do get your outer face, your inner face and outer face, that is in regards with your height datum. And then you've got your bend positions. Is it going to bend from the inside or from the outside or adjacent? You can flip the direction as needed or required. From here you can override the rules as well, where you get your bend override. So if you want to make any changes, you can click on it and select a new radius as needed. The same with your bend relief. You can also choose if you want a full edge flange, a symmetrical edge, two-sided or two offsets. So if you choose two offsets as an example, there you can see is reference 1, reference 2. Now this one I'm going to make in a negative direction, let's say -40. You can also choose to offset in a positive direction, as you can see here with reference 2. Or you can keep it just simple and just give it another offset in the negative direction so that it moves in. And from here I'm just simply going to say OK, and now I've got a flange that has been created. Just to give you a visual representation of how a flat pattern would look like, I'm just going to go and create 3 more flanges. Just going to say OK, just to keep it simple. And then in the create panel, you'll see there is a create a flat pattern. From here you can create the flat pattern where you choose your stationary face. Now that would be my stationary face. I can say OK, and it creates the nice flat pattern for me. You can see all the bending lines and the center lines that has been initiated and created for me. So when you have created your flat patterns, it is quite handy, as you do have your export DXF. So you can export flat pattern as a DXF, and you can choose to convert splines to polylines if you have created any splines. And I'm just simply going to say OK. It's quite easy, so you can give it a name. It is a DXF file. You can save it to a project cloud, and you can go and choose the project that you would like to save it in. If you would like to save it to your computer, you can also go and click on the save to my computer and choose the location where you would like to save it. This was just a quick overview of how you can utilize the sheet metal environment within Autodesk Fusion, and just the fundamentals of creating a sheet metal rule. Thank you guys for joining. Please like and subscribe and follow for more content.